Hello, this is Mama Preps 4, and I was leaving a property and thought you guys would like to see this view. It is truly beautiful out here. You know, I love coming up here. This country just makes my heart happy, seeing this beauty that God has created and being able to enjoy it and look out a window while I'm working, and this is what I get to see. I don't have to look at a whole ton of other houses, which, I mean, I do work in neighborhoods that have a ton of houses, but I also work in places like this, where, yeah, there are other houses around, but this is also what I get to see. And you get to see animals, and, I mean, in this country, there are elk, and there are deer, there's wild horses. I don't know if there's any up here, but another property that I work on has wild horses. There are bears, and then all of the small things too. You know, your rabbits and your gophers and your squirrels, or whatever. There's so much wildlife, and I really wish there was some out here so I could show it to you right now. Because sometimes there's a herd of elk that live out here, and there can be in the thousands of them at a time. And this is one of the reasons why I started this channel, was because not only to share prepping tips and information about what's going on in Montana, or things that are going on in the world, or just my thoughts or anything like that, but also just to share the beauty with you. Share the beauty of this country. Not very many people talk about Montana. I see people online, and I listen to other prepping videos, and you hear them talk about how Florida and Texas, everything is about Florida and Texas, and this governor is doing this and that governor is doing that, and they're doing this and they're standing up for that, and they won't let you do this, and they signed an executive order, and blah blah blah. Well, you know what my governor did? My governor here in Montana made it illegal to mandate the jab for any employee, and he did that a long time ago, like probably a good couple months ago now. So nobody talks about that. Everybody says, well, Ron DeSantis, he signed an executive order saying that you can't do this. I'm like, yeah, well, my governor's actually signed a law, because our people in office decided that they were going to protect us. Nobody talks about that. I'm pretty certain that we are the only state who actually has a law, an actual law, not a mandate, not an executive order, but a law on the books protecting us from this kind of tyrannical overreach. So part of the reason why I started this channel is to share things like that with you, but also to share things like what you're looking at, the absolute beauty of Montana. And yes, we do have indoor plumbing. It's so funny. My son went to a church camp in California once, and it was funny. I'm like, oh Lord, you're gonna go down, because it was down near LA, and he had to fly into LA, and there was a bunch of them that went together, and they had chaperones and stuff, of course, so it wasn't too bad. But I'm like, whew, going down there, it's so different. And he's an odd child. He likes big groups like that, which is weird because he doesn't like talking around people, and he kind of sits in the corner, but he loves being around like the city life, which drives me absolutely crazy, because I'm like, you will hate it eventually. Irregardless, one of the other kids that was at that church camp was not even aware that Montana was a state. Like, did not know. And I'm like, he must have been joking. No, he was not joking. He did not know. And other people thought we did not have indoor plumbing. Or do we still ride horses everywhere? Maybe in some of these towns we do ride horses everywhere. I don't personally, but there are people that do, and people do ride their horses downtown here, and down the side of the highway or regular roads or whatever. And we do have deer and bears in town. I had a bear in the tree in front forecasts and stuff like that, I could have missed out on a lot of my growing season if I hadn't have planted stuff with the hopes that, you know what, I think it's going to be okay. I think the weather's going to hold out. If it doesn't, I can cover it for a day or two